folks. We're just about ready to get into it with these three on the Latitude Podcast to talk 43 North Finals 2023. And while there are only three of them here, there's a whole team behind the scenes making sure that this year's event is going to be the best yet. Folks, how are we doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great, but first I have three words and it's shame on you. And do you know why I'm saying that? Devin, you have a look of perplexion on your face. It's written on the wall out there. We all know it in our minds. Keep Buffalo a secret. People aren't supposed to know about Buffalo, and you guys just keep putting us back on the map. What's your problem? What's up with that?
Isn't that four? Is that 4 words? Did you say 3?
Words. Yeah, I did leave one out. It's okay. Counting's not my specialty. Thank you, Maura. That's why we keep you and pay you the big bucks. So let's get into it. I was there last year. I was lucky to be a part of year 8, Y8 as it's called around the office. You wouldn't know because it's an inside joke. With that said, Maura, start me off. A lot of people might not be familiar with the format. So I know we're down to the 15 finalists now, and then that's going to lead us to eventually 23 days from this recording when we have our finals at Chase. What's the format? Because a lot of my fans, they might be familiar with like a best of 7 series or something like that. What's it down to once finals night comes?
Yeah, so we have it to 15 right now. We're going to take it down to 8. So the Wednesday before finals, we convene here at Seneca 1. It's open to the public. It's round 1 of finals, and we have a day of live pitching. We get through that day. We take it from 15 down to the 8 that join us on stage at Shays. They pitch live in front of 3,000 people. Also keep in mind, the founders that do this, it's not like they're doing these live pitch events regularly. This is really difficult for them, and they're going after $1 million. So it's really exciting. There's a lot at stake for everybody.
DC, obviously last year, I mean, you could feel it in the air. So what that one night environment, how does it create such an excitement for the audience?
Well, I think from an audience perspective, the companies that win are moving to Buffalo. So not only is it exciting to see someone win $1 million investment, it's also exciting because they're going to move here, they're going to hire here. So it's kind of twofold, right? $1 million that's a lot of money. So
it's quite a chunk
I think the excitement is that to begin with. But I really do think the Buffalo piece of it is exciting as well, because these will be your future neighbors or customers or clients.
And obviously not to be overlooked, the return of the People's Choice Award this year. So being in the audience, it's not like there's a glass wall or a fourth wall that's separating you from these, VCs, these judges and these companies. You can actually get involved being at Shays, and that's why it's such an exciting event at finals. Tiffani, what was part of like the excitement last year for you? I know it was a little bit overwhelming being involved and kind of running the event like you and your obviously this awesome team was. But anything that stuck out to you from last year's finals?
Last year was just super, super exciting and a really high entertainment value. It was the first time that we had a live band on stage, Pharaoh, and we're excited that they're coming back again this year.
Pharaoh tore it up. When someone tears it up, you don't go and search out for another party. You stick with what works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, folks.
Yeah, and I mean, they can only get better from here. We kind of threw them into a huge event, and they nailed it, and now it can only go up from here. So we're excited to have them back.
We'll see. There might be some other ambassadors who are pushing their way to the stage this season. We'll see. But speaking of that stage, Maura, people might think, someone who's new to the finals, new to the format, everything that's going on, we kind of portray it as Shark Tank occurring on the stage. Now, with that said, a lot of people might ask, does that mean things are scripted? Do they go over, the questions before? What's happening when, people sit down at Shays and those lights go on?
Those are live. They're unscripted. If they mess up, they have $1 million on the line. And there are 5 judges that come in every year. These are people who are really well known in the startup and venture capital space. And they're the ones that are helping us choose who those winners should be.
What is going to make year 9? I mean, let's face it, every year you get a little bit better, right? I mean, the applicants have clearly gotten better. You've gone from hundreds to almost 1,000. We're talking thousands now. What is going to make year 9 the best 43 North finals year yet?
I mean, something I'm really excited about, the companies themselves this year there are a lot of consumer products in there. So they're things that we all could buy and have at our home. Just like when Top Seeds won, everybody was so excited, not just because they were from Buffalo, but these are crackers that everybody loves. They taste great. So they were really kind of rooting her on. And I think it helps when you have a product or service that people can use themselves. It just adds more clarity to what we're trying to do.
Now, one thing I always see when a player signs with like the Buffalo Bills or the Buffalo Sabres, they'll come into town. Oh, they'll hit them with the chicken wings. They'll hit them with the full experience. And then they'll, go to their locker. They'll get that set up. And then, of course, you got the obligatory contract signing photo. it's not too much different when you win 43North finals. Talk to me about what some of these investors are going to experience when they come to Buffalo.
Chicken wings right off the plane. No, I'm kidding.
You got to lead with your strong foot.
A lot of these people have never been to Buffalo, so they're getting here for the first time. They're coming in to pitch for that $1 million, but then they'll very quickly after that have to get ready if they win to move their whole life here. So we do try to do things to not only let them get a taste of the food that we have to offer, but other amenities. Sometimes we'll do bus tours around town during that week. We let them meet people who support our program too, because I think it helps them start to understand it's so much bigger than just our 15-person team. There's so much support and just like advocates within our city who want our companies to succeed. So we have a lot of different opportunities for them to engage with people like that. And just so often, whether they win or not, I think we always hear how they're like, this is a great place to build a business. And I was surprised.
So you've talked to me, obviously you've mentioned some of the things you're working on to make it such a special night, to make it such a memorable experience. What goes into that? Because I know obviously, you have an office full of people working, a team behind this, 24/7 working on, we're talking about it just now 3 weeks out, but this is a year-round project as you work to make it such a special experience. What goes into that? And what goes into the creative concepts that you guys are looking to use for this year's?
So, I can start with this one. We actually start thinking about the next finals basically right after welcome week. After the companies move in, we're like, okay, they're here, they're settled. What are we going to do next year? So we start having these brainstorming meetings and thinking about, what's new and what's next for us in March, And so this year, I think we've mentioned it before that Buffalo really is built to win. And we've kind of leaned into that idea and how we're stacking wins. And as our portfolio gets stronger and our companies keep winning and our city keeps winning, it's all about that kind of theme and that vibe this year.
The confetti comes down. I'm trying to make my way onto the stage while being blocked by Christian, but the companies are celebrating. Everyone's going on. What happens from a 43North perspective for that next 36 hours? And what happens from a founder's perspective? You win, you get the confetti, everyone gets a good night's sleep. Is there like a celebratory breakfast the next morning or is it right to work for the company? Let's face it, you're in the cohort. Let's get going.
Yeah, the founders have to, the next morning, they sign on the dotted line and we make it official. And then they'll usually go look for apartments. They're going to be moving here in a couple months. So they'll go look for housing and our team will go and have, a celebratory lunch. And then we all go home and probably sleep for 4 or 5 days.
What's new for year 9? What's going to be, the new spectacle at the 43North finals event? Can you give me a little hint on what we can expect for year 9? Anything new?
So this year we actually have a really exciting guest that's going to be on stage with us. It's Steve Case. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, he is the founder of AOL. Not only that, but he has a fund called Rise of the Rest that actually came to Buffalo about 5-6 years ago and identified Buffalo as a city on the rise. It's a non-coastal city that was identified as a great tech hub location. And that was years ago. And here we are having him back again, which is kind of unheard of for somebody of his caliber.
Seriously, I love that caliber. And as we roll along here on the Latitude Podcast, I know that, 43North Finals ends up being one night, but there's obviously a week full of events leading up to the excitement of Finals night. Maura, Devin, Tiffani, anyone jump in here. What is going on this week that people might be excited about besides Finals night?
Yeah, even ahead of Finals week, we're going to be making stops at local companies trying to really rally the community to get excited for finals. So starting as early as, September, if you would like us to come and visit your place of work, maybe bring our prize wheel, we will show up and bring swag and prizes and anything to get you excited to come and join us at finals. There's usually other stuff too for the community during finals week itself. One of those things, Wednesday, is semifinals. It's open to the public. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, I think, at Seneca 1 and kind of rolls until around 1 o'clock or 2. So that's usually a fun day. There's lots of energy here. People kind of coming in and out. Maybe take a break during your workday, stop by the tower, pick up a free t-shirt. And then, join us on Thursday. Again, Seneca 1, we have some fun stuff happening throughout the day here leading up to finals. And then, of course, get to Shays on time. We're starting at 6 o'clock this year.
Perfectly said, because the word happening. It is all happening here, obviously, at Seneca One Tower. Anything that you guys are particularly excited about in the week lead up to finals?
I know this year what's cool is that we're actually live streaming both semifinals and the finals event.
Let's go.
So little plug there to watch it if you can't make it.
Could you imagine someone running around at both those events with a microphone? Wouldn't that just be crazy, folks? I couldn't imagine it. And where can they get tickets? They can get tickets at the Trainwreck Sports bio. Anywhere Trainwreck Sports, trainwrecksports.com. You get tickets at 43North.org.
Correct.
Tickets are free, but they will not last. So get them today. We sold out last year.
Make sure you get to 43north.org or go to the Trainwreck Sports bios to go check it out and get your free tickets to 43 North Finals today. That's all the time we have for today, folks. I got a tea time with Colleen Heidinger. This has been the Latitude Podcast. Make sure you get your tickets to finals so you can have a good night now.